where it's like directly in his face, or the shot that's directly in his face. You good? I know, my bad. I got clean. Next time we do the pod, it should be going. But he was short because Todd taller.
Okay.
So like when it's like far away, it's at his like it's like right here at his nose. But then when we do the side clip, we realized it too late, so we put it down on the side shot. Yo.
That's what's up, though. It came out real good, though.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right. There you go. It's your
Yeah.
thing.
All right, man. Do y'all want to do a cold open or like do the introductions and shit?
Shit, man. I don't give a fuck what we do.
Yeah, man.
Hey, what's good, y'all? It's your guy Bendu coming at y'all with another episode of Extendo Clip with the guys.
Wrapped out Shizz, Shizzy Mac. You know what it is. The Velvet Boys are back in the building.
Oh wait.
You should.
Moment of silence. We gotta hear it, bro. Come on, dog.
I was going to do it, but
You gotta do
it up too
Nah,
much,
we gotta build it up, bro. We gotta build it up.
I was just about to do it, man.
That's the highlight, though. We need a moment of silence. He said, get it, bro. Let's get it.
What up, y'all? It's Young Trey, Salvation, #1 leader. And if you don't know, you should know it's the only podcast that got clips with Extendo for your kinfolk. So sit back, relax, grab a snack, and chill like a Mac. Shizzy Mac, Bendu, where them topics at.
Woo! I love it, bro. I love it. I love it.
It is right there.
Yeah,
Man, I figured we go ahead and just chop it up, bro. Because I've been in a real mood, like really, like I've been in that writing bag recently, bro. Like right now, just that like brainstorming phase, like writing down ideas and shit like that, watching different films for inspiration and shit, and like. I don't know. I guess I can describe my process, but first I want to hear like, what is your as an actor? Because you Hollywood. That's why you got the glasses on.
No.
Hollywood.
Don't do that. But
Nah, I feel you. But nah, bro. But like, you know, when you as an actor, what is like? Do you like what? Like, do you envision stories or scenarios to kind of prep yourself? Like, I've heard some actors like go through that like little phase of like, all right, I'm a set up a scenario and then go, or is it like, do you wait for whatever your next thing is you're doing to come in and, you know, prep? Like what is the process for you to kind of like how do you work that muscle, that acting muscle out?
bro, I don't know. I just read the script over. You talking about like if I get the script?
Well, I'm saying just in general, even if you're like, let's say you're not even working on a project, like what do you do to like stay fresh, I guess? Like, you know how a boxer, like they train and prep and shit to stay fresh, like when they not like what is your like thing to stay fresh, I guess?
It's gonna sound weird.
Nah,
I never told anybody this. It's gonna sound weird. Real weird. There it is.
Weird.
But I don't know, bro. It's like a lot of the times I have like 3 scripts written. Well, thought of in my head, and like I always like run them back in my head over and over, and I know who I would play in that genre, so I would run it back in my head over and over. I maybe should write them down, probably should, but I just keep running them back like that. That's probably what gets me what you said. That shit gets me
like it keeps you on your toes and ready.
It keeps me in that mode. And for real, like it gets my fucking what's the fucking word for it? I don't know why I'm so
mode.
No, not mode.
Juices flowing.
No, where I can versatile.
Oh, versatility.
Like versatility. Like it keeps me doing that because in my mind I'm playing a few different
characters.
people.
Okay.
So I'm not just playing the person that I wrote out. I wrote the script for, like not just playing me. I'm playing the fucking girl. I'm playing the dad, the mom. I'm just reading that shit. I'm just in my.
We're watching for Cat Williams. Don't get in that dress.
No.
I'm fucking with you.
I don't really want to do that. I don't want to do that, and then I don't want to do that. So that's really how I just keep being fresh and all that. Man.
Shit, we got a director here, yo, Aaron, yo, my guy done Young Trader directed some projects. Like, what's something you do to kind of like keep you like on your toes as a director? Because you do voice stuff too. So that's I feel like you're very like, with your experience, like your versatility as a director is like and like fascinating to me.
Honestly, it's nothing I really. If it's something I really want to do, and I feel like it enthused me enough, I'll just do it. I'll do my research on it, or I'll just do it by hand, just see how it comes out. I've always just been very experimental with different things.
As a writer director though, do you ever find yourself like acting out your scenes yourself when you're writing them?
Never,
Never.
For
never.
real?
I've never done it.
For
I
real?
mean, because me, I'm more, and I think, to be honest, let me just say this. As a kid, my first talent I had was art, drawing, coloring, different stuff.
Okay.
So I used to have this. I still do, but I used to envision stuff in my head, and I would just be able to trace them in my head, from my head, and just let my hands grow. Even with dreams I used to have, whether it was nightmares, good dream, I was able to just draw what I was able to see. I can't explain it. It's just like some type of spirit thing that just guided me. So anything that I saw, whether it came from creating music, directing, I see it in my head and I direct it as best as I can, and I just go from that.
I tip my hat off to you because he talking about art and he's going off of for real, you like Sonny from Our Robot. You just motherfucking
I see myself on a hill.
right. But I
Why
tip
do you
my
say these things?
I tip my hat off to you because yo, it's crazy. I just watched that movie. That's probably why I brought it up. But
I never thought about it. That's one of my favorite movies too.
I draw stick figures. So
Nigga, I can't even draw that.
you heard the shade? He said,
That wasn't even me. That was him.
No, that was you.
That was you.
I draw stick figures.
You said, bro.
That's crazy.
No,
he was like peasant.
No,
That's what I got from it. Like,
because you about to get deep with it. I was like, he about to get deep. I was in tune with it.
Yeah, but
no, but you honestly, I just anything that I saw in my head, like even from the music videos. You alright?
That velvet hitting them.
Yeah, that.
When's the last time you drank that?
It's been a minute.
I really don't like this shit. This black velvet.
Well,
but
that's the bomb cover liquor.
Hey, bro, don't tell the world that.
Everybody,
yo, by the time we
this
done,
is in every liquor store.
Hey,
man.
by the time we done with this jump, this is gonna be a luxury brand, my nigga. They gonna Velvet cut the check. Telling you,
they gonna have to.
They gonna have to run that.
They gonna be like, why? You gotta show him for free.
Hey man, look.
No, but for real, honestly, it's just like it just came to me. And, even if it wasn't, I'm not that hard to please. So even if I don't capture what I really want, sometimes I turn it into something that's a lot better than what I expected. Okay. So if I don't get the scenes that I actually envision, I'll be like, you know what? I could work with it. I could work around that. That's one thing I had a conversation with Graf a long time ago. He's like, man, honestly, I wish I had that mindset of yours, because he's like, he's a perfectionist sometimes. So, and I get that. I used to be the same way too, but sometimes I feel like if things don't go the way that you plan, sometimes the mishap could be a lot better than what you expected.
Exactly.
Right. It's like live TV. If something happens, it was meant to happen. It's there. You can't erase it.
Or a play. Sorry.
Message.
I was gonna say, like, music kind of like got me in that mind state now, where even with like writing stuff and like, cause like I was watching this documentary one day on YouTube, and they were talking about like the process of like how Prince used to record. And every single person that was in the studio with him, like his engineers and shit like that. Yeah. But he mainly liked to work with women. He would only work with women. And this one woman who worked with him on like some of his on a lot of his projects was just like, he would come in the studio, get his tea, and just start playing. Hop on the keys, do the keys, hop on whatever next instrument, and just do all of it. Put it down in one take, put it together, and then lay the vocals down.
Do all of it and do all the women, right?
You crazy.
Hey, Prince was a bad boy, man. That nigga go on stage wear assless jeans and afterwards take your bitch.
That shit is insane, dog. Going up there with your ass out.
Hey, bro. But that's that was the 80s culture then at the time, and 70s and the 80s culture, because you gotta recognize like music at the time, you went through the 50s and the 60s and the early 70s where like you wearing the suits and it was more like conservative dress.
Hold on, bro. So you saying if in the 80s you would go up there on the stage with your ass out?
No, I'm saying like at that time a lot of people were trying to be like counterculture, I guess.
Oh Lord.
So like breaking the societal norms, they saw it as art and all that shit, which to some degree it is, but at a point where you walking on stage with your ass out, I think like, all right, bro, we get it.
Go against the grain. You be the one that stood out.
Yeah.
But you asked us that question, and then you started. I think I cut you off, or when you was going in the deep and how you get your inspiration.
Yeah, just drawing it. Like, I'm not an artist person, so like artiste or artistic person. So like drawing for me, like my stories is all visual in my mind.
Okay.
So like that's why I've really been trying to get into storyboarding. And storyboarding's hard because I can't really draw. So now instead of doing that, I'll take like images from films that kind of fit what I see in my brain the closest, or like going through deviant art and looking for similar things. But just like the writing process, because I haven't directed anything yet, but the writing process and like going through a story for me is just like, I don't know, it's one of those things where Aaron kind of described it. Like, it's one of those things where it's just like pen to paper. I've always understood what a good story was. I always understood like just story in general. You feel me?
Now what films get you in that mode? What do you use for like inspiration?
It depends. Like right now, the story I'm working on right now deals a lot with westerns, deals a lot with like crime films and things like that, but also a science fiction edge. So it's like,
what the fuck?
I tend to watch. You good?
Yeah, I didn't know what that was.
It was.
You didn't want to make one more move.
No, I really didn't.
Be like,
yeah, I really did.
Get that shit on camera, bro.
Hit my motherfucking head.
Nah,
you're good. That chair is good. It should be sturdy.
Okay.
But but yeah, like all types of films, like like it just depends on what I'm trying to write at the time.
Right.
Sometimes, but when I talk to you about like, do you like come up with scenarios to stay fresh or whatever? Sometimes I'll just do like what Cole described. It's like a 7-minute drill where like he'll sit down for 7 minutes and write whatever, and then record it. That's kind of what I do with sometimes with my like when I'm writing a story or a script, and I'll set these parameters like, oh, it has to be like this genre, like it has to be a romance drama, and this is the budget, and this is da da da, like as if like a studio is handing me notes or something.
That's what's up.
Write a story within those parameters. So, but story for me is just like is language. That's all story really is if you think about it. Any type of art, you're articulating something to people, whether you're an actor, whether you're a director, writers, like even drawing. That's all you're doing is drawing something for people to. I draw inspiration from, interpret it in some type of way. I mean, even when you look at like, throughout history, sometimes art has been used in, as forms of war, sending messages to people and things like that. Like it's very like art is very complex.
Yeah.
When you get into it and dig into it, but
let me ask you: do you think it's also like the starting stem point of us having that artistic mindset? Do you think it has something to do with the environment that we're in at that moment in time? It's like you said, when you're in war, people, you don't have nothing to do. You're worried. A lot of stuff is going through your mind. Am I going to survive tomorrow? I miss my babies. I miss my wife.
Yeah.
Let me write down my last thoughts. So even if I don't have no family, this is, let me write down my poetry, scripture, like stuff like that. So maybe like when we're kids, we're very impressionable. We got TV. Sometimes we might not have grown up with TV, or TV was your life, or going outside with other people, seeing things you wasn't supposed to see, and be like, let me write, or just art.
I think so. And I think so because depending on the environment you're in, that should give you some type of inspiration to write, to draw, anything. Like it should give you some type of inspiration because say you just got out of a relationship, a bad relationship, that's the environment that you're in right now. A lot of people that made some of the best music when they were heartbroken,
when they're going through shit.
So you mean, so like, and then like, I don't know too much like the environment with like writing a script for a movie, but I mean, if you always have that mindset, that creative mindset, shit, you can. It doesn't matter what environment you're in, you could just come up with something. Just coming up with something, honestly.
Maybe I beg to differ because there's a lot of so-called artists that talk about other people's environment that they never been in. So is that really art?
I would still say it is.
I mean, depending on the artistry, like it's just like you writing about somebody else's life. I mean, it could be the same way for directing, but especially music. A lot of people that's almost frowned upon on music, but in directing, we know you're just creating somebody else's story or making up something that's in your mind. That's why I'm at. What's your point of thought process on that?
I want to go back to your previous point. I do want to say that, but that's where I say like art is an extension of culture, and culture is dictated by circumstances, geography, like whatever human beings are going through at a time. Like when you look at African art, you see a lot of fractal geometry within their art to the point where we're telling stories within our clothing, which is why, not to go too far into politics or anything, but
here we go.
The tactful European, the tactical mindset that the Europeans had was, okay, well, bet we're going to go through and burn the clothes, burn the gold, because that's where we tell our stories at, which is why a lot of African history was lost. So it's like when you look at those types of circumstances, like even right down to the types of colors you use, like, what kind of things you're digging up out of the ground to make certain colors, is dictated by what part of the world you're in, things like that. When you look at, the early 20th century, you had a lot of existentialism coming out of Europe due to the uncertainty.
What's the word?
Existentialism.
Existentialism.
I'm sorry.
Existentialism.
Nah, you're good. But you had like a lot of existentialist thought coming out of Europe at the time due to the World War One, then coming into World War Two, especially coming out of Germany. I would recommend going back and looking at a lot of the film coming out of Germany during that time period leading up into World War II and things like that, because it's very very fascinating the types of concepts they had. But get into the second part of what you were saying. What was the second part?
See,
I know, bro.
So far deep into politics.
No, because I wanted to answer his question about the because I had a good.
It wasn't really a second part. It was just, do y'all think it's artistry when it comes to someone?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say
somebody's writing about it, that's just like Slim Jesus.
I wasn't going to use Slim Jesus as an example. I was going to use Frank Herbert as an example.
Well, there's plenty of people that had done that, but I was going to say in general.
Before we came on, we were watching Dune. Dune is written by Frank Herbert. His thought process was studying the cultures of was studying Arab Islamic cultures, specifically during the 17th and 19th century.
I didn't want him to forget because he had something prolific he wanted to say.
Oh, go ahead.
I don't even fucking remember.
Oh, because you go, but
my bad.
But if you can remember, do you think it's a double-edged sword of?
So
just remember that question. Maybe it'll come back to you. But go ahead.
He was studying like a lot of the Islamic cultures during the imperialism of the British Empire during that time period, and like that's where he. It's not him.
I know.
Yo, because I was trying to laugh, but you kept doing it. I was like, yo, you're gonna make me laugh, bro. But
You know what you be doing, man.
he knew, bro. He knew. but a lot of his inspiration came from studying those types of, studying those types of cultures. He's not of that culture. He's not, from there, but he drew a lot of inspiration from that, and that really inspired a lot of the themes,
Right.
Behind the Dune franchise.
Right.
And even when you do get into Dune, like the original adaptation of Dune really harkened on like, the concept of, being wary of charismatic leaders. For all intents and purposes, Paul Atreides is supposed to serve as a tragic hero. He's more Anakin Skywalker than Luke Skywalker.
Now, some people may not know, but Dune was a book first.
Yeah, it was a book first.
And then they did the movie, and then now they have the remake, right?
Yeah, the remake.
And
with,
and then they got the
TV show out now. Yeah,
gotcha.
But now, when you really get into the lore of Dune, like it very harkens into like, being wary of artificial intelligence, because the world of Dune is post AI. So prior to the era you see in the Dune movies, there was a point where human beings were enslaved by what's called thinking machines in the universe.
Now, you watching Dune, you said something like you can't watch Star Wars anymore.
Yeah, bro. It's like, because like Dune really gets into like a philosophical bag that Star Wars like just can't, because it was never meant to be that. Star Wars was always meant to be this, pulp noir serial type of thing, like kind of like an Indiana Jones.
Now, one more. Well, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
But this is perfect, because you were talking about people kind of like stealing.
Yeah,
and I remember
like
you said,
it's inspiration.
Frank Herbert like famously like basically lambasted George Lucas because he was like, there's something like 14 points of similarities between Dune and Star Wars.
Yes,
you look at like, obviously, like I said, the character,
the
character of Paul, but then more arose from that, because then when Lucas went and did the prequels later, like Paul Atreides and Anakin Skywalker are the same character essentially,
and that is the person that plays that Timothy
Chalamet plays. Yeah,
gotcha.
I mean, I feel as though in every genre, there's always going to be that one thing that's going to be similar to something, or try to be compared to someone, where it's like it's nothing new under the sun, or no idea is original. It'd be like before Dune. Well, then what? Not the original Dune, but from our generation, then people would be comparing Star Wars with Star Trek, anything that's in the sci-fi, because it,
well, that's because people just don't understand. Like, I'm a nerd, so people like, it's like trying to compare, like those are like two different themes. Like,
but it's because like some people just want to try to find comparisons and stuff like that. No matter how different it can be. It's going to be that one person and be like, well, he's trying to be like him, or this is not his life. You rapping about somebody else's, or it's just or this artwork for his anime is not. He's trying to be like Tori Akirama. What's his name?
Shit.
That makes the Dragon Ball series.
Tori
Akirama.
I forget. I don't know.
Akirama. Please look at me if I messed up his last name, but
you asking the wrong person. I'm a notorious anime hater.
Damn, so you don't like no anime?
I like a couple. I like, what is it called? Akira. But anime heads say technically that's not anime, but it is anime.
But it's different styles.
I like Ghost in the Shell.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, they got different styles, and where people will be like, "Oh, he stole this art style from this or such and such." Like,
but that's why I wish Grab was here, because when we went to the OC Comic Con, we sat through like a panel where the dude was talking about.
You went to an OC Comic Con?
It was like I don't think it was this year, but the year like last year. I forget when it was.
Oh my God.
because his homie Justin came and Ben drove us like me, him, and Grab down there. Yeah.
Oh my god.
What?
I want to go to Comic-Con. I want to go to fucking.
Let's go to OC Comic Con next year.
Okay.
We could do fucking content down there and all that shit.
Yes.
But we sat through like a
2025 or 2026?
2025.
Let's do it. What year? I mean, what year?
I think it was around my birthday.
When's your birthday?
August.
When?
8th. Well, I gotta look. I gotta Google.
Your birthday.
Huh?
You gotta Google what?
No, I gotta Google the date for the OC
You
Comic
got
Con.
who?
Who?
Oh, the who? Google? Huh?
You got
What?
Google it?
Google that?
Yeah.
But nah, like, and he kind of brought that up. The dude was like, "Yo, look, you're not gonna like, you steal from everybody, steal from people, do that." But the fine line that you have to walk is like, you steal things, but then you make it your own thing. You
Try to
me?
mix it with your own, and that's one thing one of my things I like to do, even with certain things that's like in my creations or things that I might take inspiration from. I like to take a little bit of what somebody else say or what they know and just mix it up, make it like almost new, polish it a little bit. Because I feel like everybody that started something, the next generation can always improve on it.
Exactly.
Right.
Or add what they're going through, during
polish
that time
it up.
period.
Yeah.
Like for me, like when you look Batman, you look at how far, like, and it's crazy because as I've grown more distant from the Dark Knight trilogy. Not that I don't like appreciate them as films still, but like the themes, like that's what I realized as a writer too. I paid more attention to the themes of a story as opposed to just like, I feel like a lot of people just like, they go with vibes when it comes to films, and that's cool. You feel me? Like that's why as a filmmaker, it is your goal to kind of create vibes, but also, combine the vibes with the themes, and that comes with good writing to play that balancing act. But
now,
I was gonna say, like, I would say I prefer this Robert Pattinson Batman now, not because it's newer, but because I feel like the themes are different, and it harkens back to like the Batman I know from the comics, especially like when you get into like the 70s and 80s and early 90s Batman stuff, where they really honed in on the darker like detective elements and really had Batman questioning, his crusade, his crusade against crime and things like that.
I seen people were talking about how they didn't like Pattinson because he wasn't that smart, or he couldn't figure shit out, or he what was it? Wasn't that smart, he couldn't figure shit out, and that he got the fuck up and walked it off when he was on the wingsuit. Now that shit kind of fucked me up because first of all, this is year 2.
Yeah,
he's not going to have everything figured the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
This is year 2.
I mean, that was the point of showing those like hiccups.
Thank you.
Even towards the end of the film, like,
thank you.
He's so that, but that's the beauty of his Batman is that this Batman is really supposed to question himself.
Yeah.
Because up to this point, that's the reveal when you see the guy, he takes the mask off and they're like, "Who are you?" "I'm vengeance." Because Batman is supposed to see.
That's a crazy Batman voice. I like it.
The impact, yeah. The impact that he wanted to have as Batman was not the one that he intended. Yep. He inspired people, but
he sure did.
And that's why I get why they cut that bonus scene with the Joker. I get why they cut it, but it harkens so much, and that's why I really like this like very like calculated Joker, like on par with Heath Ledger's, but even more calculated because he's like, you see yourself within this guy, and that's why you literally like, and you see the mental illness within Bruce in that scene because Bruce literally cannot allow himself to see those similarities between him and Riddler because to him, his crusade is based on the death of his parents,
right?
And his trauma and what he's going through,
right?
As opposed to Riddler is just some guy doing, he's just some nut. But it's like, no, the only thing that separates you and Riddler is your wealth.
Mm-hmm.
And he starts questioning that. That's why I like. Did you watch The Penguin?
We talked about this.
Yeah, we did. That's why I really like him not being in The Penguin because I think what Matt Reeves is going to do is kind of have him go through this arc that Batman kind of went through in this comic called Batman War on Crime, where like there were events in this comic book that really had him sit down and reflect on his crusade. Like, am I actually helping the city, or am I just carrying out, a brutal vendetta? Like, basically living out my traumas every night. Like, essentially, like, am I just recreating, the night my parents died every night and living vicariously, beating on, privileged people and shit like that are just trying to make a dime to feed their families, as opposed to, look, I'm Bruce Wayne, a multi-billionaire. Why am I not, giving my, like, it's the shit you see on the internet about Batman. Like, why doesn't he just donate to this and do, like, use his money and da da da? Like, I think that's what they're going to touch on in that film, because even in the Batman, Bella, Real,
She said that. She said,
yeah,
you be doing more.
So I really like that, because that's what I realize now. I get why people didn't like Henry Cavill's Superman, and that's why I'm interested to see a fresh take. Because what you gotta realize is the DC characters they're not gods. You feel me? They just regular niggas. Like, Batman is just a guy. Superman is literally a nigga. Like, literally. Like, that's how, like, Superman and Lois.
I wouldn't say he's a nigga.
Nah,
did you finish Superman and Lois?
I'm about to. I
gotta tap into.
Yeah.
I told my coworker still. I'm a watch it, bro. Before we go back to work,
I heard it's a beautiful ending, though. That's what I've been hearing.
I didn't hear that.
I heard, like, you're gonna need some tissues at the ending.
Damn.
I mean, but people say that. I'm usually not a crier and shit, so I've only cried 3 times in cinema. That's Star Wars Episode 7 and Captain America Civil War twice.
You said 3. Oh, twice. Wait a minute.
I've only cried 3 times in the theaters.
Wait a minute.
Episode
so you cried
7
twice, so
and I cried twice in Captain America Civil War.
Why?
When Spider-Man showed up, that shit, because
he did tell me. Yeah.
I never thought that shit would happen, bro. Like, I don't know, like, nigga, you remember the dark times, yo. And we all like, yo, nigga, when they bought Fox, nobody ever knew that was going to happen. Like, you feel me? But like, when Spider-Man showed up, that was dope. But then when Steve and Tony was fighting, and he was like, Tony, he's my friend.
So
bro, that shit broke me, bro. Like, no, stop fighting. Y'all niggas just supposed to be boy. It's like Martin and Boomerang. When he came up on the roof, he said, "Nah, man, stop. Y'all niggas hug, bro. Hug right now." Like, that's how I wanted to be like, bro.
I cried on 7 pounds.
I get it.
He said, I get it.
I get it.
That shit.
I'm not gonna stumble on your moment.
That shit hurt, bro. Cause he
died from an octopus.
Woody Harrelson.
Okay. Yeah.
Said when Rosario Dawson came up to him, he was like, "You okay?" And she was crying. He was like, "You must be whatever her name is." I said, "Oh my God." That shit did it for me. Because I'm like, yo, he did it. He did it. That's not even the point.
Okay.
The point is,
yeah,
he gave him his eyes so he could see, so he can be a piano player. So he can play the piano.
He ain't got to be Stevie no more.
He don't got to. Jesus.
Yo, Stevie can see, bro. I don't care what nobody says.
Yo, I seen a joint that said, what it say? It said, what it say? It said, "Hi, I'm Stevie Wonder, and you're watching this Disney Channel." Oh my God! And this shit was everywhere. Oh, I was crying. They said Stevie Wonder can see.
I've heard that too, bro. I've heard that too. Somebody said they saw Stevie driving one day.
Shut up.
I'm fucking with you.
My Sherry,
no more. Love me like a summer day.
As you can see, I don't know the words. That's a banger. That is a banger. Stevie Wonder got it, though.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's all that is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What's that?
Sprinkle a little crack cocaine.
Sprinkle some crack on.
It's a packet, a little Angie packet.
Yeah. But
what's your favorite trilogy?
In terms of films?
Yeah.
Favorite trilogy?
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
We'll see how this Dune trilogy wraps up.
He probably like all 3 of them.
I'm not. See,
think I asked that.
You know what?
You like? I guarantee you like the original first trilogy, and modern day trilogy, the Skywalker saga, and then the Phantom, the Sith.
I'll take it back. I'll take that back.
Clone Wars.
Because I can think. I can think of a trilogy better.
Captain America.
Captain America, bro.
Okay, say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First Avenger, Winter Soldier, going into Civil War.
Yeah. But did I get the order right for Star Wars?
Like
original.
Yeah, original trilogy always.
Original trilogy.
Like original trilogies,
a
layer of like shit. Then you have the
Skywalker
the sequel
saga.
Trilogy, and then, that came out recently, and then the prequels, and then like prequels. 5 more layers of shit, and then the prequels.
Yeah, so shoot.
I hate sand. Like,
what the fuck was I about to say?
Your trilogies?
Yeah, you gotta say your trilogy.
He said, Like he wasn't saying.
Oh, I really don't. Like a lot of people say that. A lot of people put like the Dark Knight trilogy in there. I can't
because the third one's garbage to me.
I'm not gonna say it's garbage, but I don't really fuck with the third one like the first two, and I don't fuck with the third one like everybody says. I didn't talk to a few people that say that they like the Dark Knight Rises over the Dark Knight.
Yeah, y'all said we said on the podcast last year. You and my younger brother, when we did the gaming podcast, y'all ain't like because of Bang. They try to build up Bang too much.
It's because the thing is,
like it wasn't even. You couldn't even feel that it was Bang.
Well, for me,
as a big villain to create all this stuff.
Christopher Nolan, bro, like he was trying to go with this more realistic Gotham, realistic villains, realistic
but then
Batman.
You kill him with a nuke.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, and then just got ridiculous.
Why, like, you want to go with a realistic, more grounded type John? It's so many other villains that you could use without using Bane and then dumbing down what he can do.
I mean, I'm not going to go into why, like,
fucking what
the thing, like I said, like that's honestly, I'm glad you said that because like the themes that he really explored within The Dark Knight Rises, like I typically hate when people like Nolan get into like philosophy, and because like it's always so like shallow and moot. Like it was almost like he was trying to make this.
Why are you looking at me like that?
It was almost like he was trying to make this statement on like what anarchy is, but like most people don't understand what anarchism, like any ism, is because we exist within a bubble for the most part. So it's like like just the themes within that movie is horrible because if you look at it, essentially he's like, yo, if you leave people to if you give people true freedom and leave them to their own devices, this is what they turn into, animals that want to kill everybody. Where it's like, well, no, man. Like, if you look at it, the systems within Gotham left a city that was corrupt and left people with no options other than to revolt in that way. Now, that's where you have the charismatic leader in Bane. Yeah, Bane has his own agenda and ulterior motives. And, he's just, galvanizing, just a galvanizing figure at that time. So it's like, I just think Nolan is very, like, shallow with a lot of his writing and a lot of his themes within his stuff. Like, I don't know.
Saying all that, Nolan is probably my favorite director.
I get why. He used to be mine too.
Who's yours? Denis.
As of right now, I'm gonna say Denis. But like, honestly,
Dune got you in a fucking chokehold.
Nah, well, not even. It's like I feel like Dune is like the encapsulation of all of these films. You gotta think about it. This is the guy that did Blade Runner 2049, Prisoners, Sicario, Enemy, like Arrival. Like he has I feel like he's like one of the masters of science fiction film.
He might be, but he is the master of boring movies.
I mean, it's not boring.
Boring.
I think it's
boring.
He presents his in a way where it's more faithful to the source material that he's adapting.
The only movie I saw that I could get through that was not boring was Prisoners. I got through Sicario too, but that took me about a few years to even watch that. I tried watching Dune so many times. So many times. I don't know. I can't do it. Maybe I need to watch the second one first and then go back and watch the first one. Or I don't know. But Arrival, please.
Amazing.
I'm cool.
Bro,
It's too long.
I put that movie I put that movie on to go to sleep.
Hey,
I do.
That's disrespectful.
I do. I put Arrival on to go to sleep. Because that movie is fucking his movies are just. That's why, like, if they make a Batman Beyond movie, I can't have him as the director. I wouldn't want it because, like, the way that he even Blade Runner 2049, bro, that shit looks beautiful.
He would kill it, bro.
That shit looks beautiful.
He would kill
but
that
at the
shit.
same time, they didn't appreciate Matt Reeves' Batman because it was slower. What the fuck are they gonna do if he makes a Batman Beyond? That shit is gonna be.
I mean, yeah, but if you look at like Matt Reeves' Batman, that's why I really like his filmmaking style because while the writing isn't as strong as Denis, the cinematography is fucking amazing.
That cinematography was great. I don't have anything to put it in. Yeah, I'll finish.
You pour water in your cup.
It's liquor in here.
Oh, I thought you finished it.
I did so. You use that other cup?
Yeah, it's another right there.
I'm not going to use it.
Oh shit.
But yeah, man. Like, I get it. I tend to
Oh, I guess you just pour.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I tend to but nowadays I'm just trying to.
Thank you.
I'm just trying to really explore. I'm really trying to explore more unknown indie directors, kind of like. So it's like, yeah, because it's like when you look at, I want to look at film and art now in a view of not looking at it through names, which to me is just an extension of brands. That's essentially what directors are nowadays. They're just fucking.
All that is just building up your expectation about a movie.
Well, not even that. It's like more so IP. You feel me? It's like, Nolan and they're like, they're titans, and they've done great work. Tarantino, Spielberg.
Sure.
But it's like at this point they can't really afford to take the types of risks that I think, smaller indie directors can. You feel me?
Right.
And really challenge their audience.
I don't know how to feel about that because I mean, because of the reputation they have built up because of their name, wouldn't that give them even more of a power to try to take risks or do things but if
they have a misstep, that power goes away. Like, Nolan was able to say fuck Warner Brothers and go to what, Paramount? That's where he was now.
You said who? Nolan?
Yeah, he's with Paramount now, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, like because of that cachet that he had off of his name. Imagine if Oppenheimer bombed and it was just terrible. You feel me? Like, so they can't really. It's kind of like
I feel like everybody got.
I'm not bringing this up.
At least got one.
But it's kind of like the Will Smith effect. Like, while I disagree with how Will Smith, even The Rock, these high budget actors choose roles, I disagree with it. But at the same time, I get why, because they have a brand to maintain. And then it's like nowadays, like, especially as an actor, you're not just an actor nowadays. You're, essentially a fucking content creator. Like every time I go on fucking Instagram, I see The Rock selling something. Or Ryan Reynolds selling something every time I turn on the fucking TV.
Yeah.
But see, for me, I always had this stigma of there's always that chance of every content that you make is a risk. That's how I took it as when I started filming because
at that level though, I don't think so.
No.
Once you get to that level,
no, because at the end of the day, regardless, it's always, to me, if I allow myself to worry about what other people think, then I'm limiting myself and what my mind can go far as creativity wise. But I feel as though nobody's gonna like every single thing you put out. You could have a lot of stuff under your name, but there's no guarantee the next movie you put out or just anything that you put out is going to hit. that's why I always feel like no matter how big a person is or the name they built up, they got at least one flop.
No, I agree.
So
I
I
agree
feel
with
like
you.
it's always that if it can happen to you one time, it could happen again. So if you go in with that mindset, like I'm gonna just keep on getting bangers out all the time, then that's when you
But
mistake
that's not
yourself.
that's not what I'm saying though. What I'm saying is I think that, and I'm not saying these guys aren't, you know, at the top of their game putting out, you know, good work, but just for like the type of film that I'm looking for now is, you know, more unique. Like, all right, what's pushing the envelope now in terms of writing, like in terms of acting,
Yeah.
what's pushing the envelope now?
Yeah, I feel that, but I was just saying, I feel like it's a risk putting out anything, whether it's indie or mainstream. Anytime you take that risk of say, hey, the public might not like it, that's a risk.
I don't know. Maybe it's my conspiratorial brain because I think
Yeah, I
like
was
you
like,
gotta
that's a
think they're
risk for
investing
anything.
millions of dollars into these directors' visions, bro. You like if they kind of see the movie going left, like even though like
Well, sometimes it's not even.
they're not gonna dog, they're not
too.
gonna dog directors, you know, like they did like famously, like if you think about like what was it, X-Men 3, like they're not gonna do the director like that. You feel me? But at the same time, like they like, yo, we got a lot of money in this shit, bro. It's like millions of dollars, like, and you know, and in the age where like, you know, you're not even guaranteed to break even anymore. People are very picky, like very picky and choosy about what they go out to see in the theaters.
Yeah,
and it goes off of word of mouth. Is this thing good? Because you gotta think about it. Us as the consumer, we're spending what? Both y'all, you know, got girls. Between going out with your lady, that's like $40, bro. Yo, like you like, yo, you go to spend $40 and you go to watch the fucking Room, a movie over the Room, or some piece of garbage. Like I'm at. Did you go see Thor in theaters?
Oh my god!
You wanted your money back, right?
I wanted to walk out.
Yo,
I ain't go see that. Only one I saw was the sequel, or first and sequel. I think the sequel in theaters. That's the only time.
Yeah.
But the last one, nah, I ain't go see it.
I shouldn't have. I wanted my money back for real.
Yeah. So it's like people, you know, I just think that people have, you know, they have expectations now because, and then on top of that, like I can sit home and watch a fucking 8 episode show, you know, that I know is going to be good, and even if it's not good, I'm not wasting any money going out to the theater to watch it. So I hear what you're saying. I just think it's so when you get to that level, like it's so much money involved with it. Like, yeah, you're going to have flops. Like every director obviously has. Like I said, I think The Dark Knight Rises is a flop for Nolan. I think that Nolan puts out, you know, he's very consistent, you know, with a lot of his films, but for the most, you know, every now and then you're going to have a flop as a director. So
yeah, for real. It just depends because I just feel like going off the what you were saying with the sometimes I feel like yeah, you got a lot of money invested in that, but sometimes it could be the companies that be trying to put too much in their input and say, hey, maybe you should do it this way, or we want this in here. Even if the directors say like, no, that's not even like remotely close to the actual.
So you end up with a Justice League situation.
Yeah, they'd be like, well, hey, we are pretty much sponsoring it. We pay for this. We get what we want, and that's how people they don't realize that once they put that in the movie and be like, even though I don't want this in here because I got this money and the studios want this in here. Once I put it out and people be like, what the hell is that? It falls back on the director, not the actual studio. So, and it's not really their fault.
And then if you say something about it, then now, you know, it's like, all right, well, studios don't want to work with you now because we know you're going to throw us under the bus. All that.
Yeah, but I'm like, these are people, y'all don't know nothing about, you know, these, you know, story annotations or just like, they don't know nothing about directing. If you never directed a movie, what's the point of you even having your input just because you got money invested in it?
But on the flip side of that, like producers, there's a lot of great producers that, like, even though she hasn't been with Star Wars, I feel like she's completely botched Star Wars. But what's her name? Kathy. Kate. What the fuck is her name? The head of Lucasfilm, drawing a blank on what her name. Kathleen Kennedy. Like she produced most of Spielberg's films. Like you have these great producers that are able to keep directors, on track and be like, okay, you kind of going in. It's like that scene from Boomerang when they let the crazy guy make the video himself and he made some crazy shit. Like, like, all right, bro, you kind of tweaking, like pull it in a little bit, like, So it's like it's a push and pull effect. Like a lot of people, just want to be like, oh, keep the studio out of it. But then at the same time, sometimes the studio interfering, like Marvel. In the earlier days, Marvel would really have a say like, yo, we need you to do this because we're setting up this character. And some filmmakers will look at that, well, I can't really work in that environment. And they dismissed directors. Like that's why we didn't get an Edgar Wright Ant-Man because, he had a different vision for the character and it didn't line up with where the MCU was. So it was like, all right, gotta go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really interested in Ant-Man at all. I don't even think I saw the second one.
I'm interested in Doctor Strange. Third one.
I want to see.
I'm interested to see what they're gonna do with that.
Yeah, I for me, it's like I feel like that's one of the ones where it's like it became a victim of studio interference. Speaking on that, because the original director Scott Derrickson wanted it to be more of like a horror film,
right?
And they wanted to do all this multiverse stuff and yada yada. So
because they was getting darker with it.
It was supposed to be even darker.
Yeah.
That like originally they were supposed to go into the stuff about his sister. So
right.
In the comic, Strange has a sister that died when she was younger. That actually is what inspired her to become a doctor. So, and the villain was supposed to be Nightmare. So, dog, like I was disappointed, and then seeing what we got with Multiverse of Madness, it's like, all right, it was good, but like it could have been better. Y'all didn't even really deliver on the multiverse aspect of this film like that. So
I'll be good if I don't see that movie again.
What?
That's where I've been at. I haven't watched it.
That's Strange?
Multiverse of Madness, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Honestly, like,
why'd you feel that way?
I didn't really like it like that. Yeah.
You went back. You mean like when you went back to watch it?
What do you mean went back to watch it?
Like when you first watched it?
Yeah, when
I first watched it, it's like my only time watching it.
Oh wow!
I never watched that shit again.
Only
watched that joint one time. Yeah, I ain't really. Marvel has been just been hit or miss for me for a little minute now. But I was watching Creature Commando. Yeah,
Creature Commandos. You fuck with it?
Yes.
That shit is good.
That shit is good.
I gotta watch episode 3. I only saw the first 2.
Episode 3 is
crazy.
Is the one with Tim and G.I. Robot.
Oh, for real?
It shows his background.
Okay, I'm
that motherfucker. Yo.
It's a nut, right?
Yo, is the one joint. He was like, "Do you care if I say anything?" It's not going really like so. So the whole joint, like you saw the second episode, right, where they really touched on the Bride Frankenstein. Yeah,
that shit was like, yeah. You got a little Denzel voice there. Like, I don't mind if
I did
a little bit.
Don't do that, man. Don't gas me.
Said I've been drinking. I'm drunk right now.
I'm drunk right now. Ow! Yes, sir.